There's a difference between caring deeply and caring desperately, and most of us have forgotten where that line is. I've been thinking about this lately, watching people around me, myself included, pour so much energy into things that do untactually matter. Not in the grand scheme of things, not in the quiet moments when we're alone with ourselves. We've learned to care about everything with the same intensity. The work project, the messy house, the unopened email, the friend who hasn't called back, the way we looked in that photo, the thing we said wrong 3 days ago. And somewhere in all that caring, we've lost the ability to distinguish between what deserves our full heart and what deserves a gentle shrug. By the end of this conversation, I hope you'll have a clearer sense of how to care less without caring less, how to love what matters, and let go of what doesn't. You know that feeling when you read lying in bed at night and your mind starts cycling through all the small failures of the day? The email you forgot to send? The conversation that felt awkward? The way you handled that moment at work? Your body's tired, but your mind is running a constant audit of everything you could have done better, everything you should be worrying about. This is what happens when we care about everything equally, when we've trained ourselves to treat every minor inconvenience as a crisis, every small mistake as a character flaw, every person's opinion as a referendum on our worth. We've lost the ability to calibrate our care, to save our emotional energy for the things that actually deserve it. And the exhausting part is that we think this is what caring looks like. We think that if we're not worried about everything, if we're not trying to control every outcome, if we're not invested in every detail, then we're not good people. We're not responsible people. We're not people who care. But here, that's what I've learned. Caring about everything is actually a way of caring about nothing. When your attention is scattered across 1,000 small concerns, you don't have the energy left to truly tend to what matters. When you equally invested in your friend's genuine crisis and the fact that you were running 5 minutes late, you're not actually being caring, you're being reactive. The truth is, learning to care less isn't about becoming cold or indifferent. It's about becoming more discerning. It's about understanding that your emotional energy is finite, and that how you spend it is one of the most important choices you make every day. I think we've gotten confused about what caring means. We've started to believe that caring equals worrying, that love equals anxiety, that responsibility equals constant vigilance. But think about the people in your life who feel most caring to you. Are they the ones who are always stressed and worried about everything? Or are they the ones who can be present with you because they're not scattered across a dozen other concerns? The people who care most effectively are often the ones who care most selectively. They know what deserves their full attention and what can be met with a lighter touch. They understand that caring deeply about a few things is more powerful than caring frantically about everything. This isn't about becoming selfish or uncaring. It's about becoming more caring in the ways that actually matter. It's about learning to distinguish between the voice of genuine concern and the voice of anxiety dressed up as conscientiousness. I see this pattern everywhere now. People who are exhausted from caring about their coworkers' opinion of their lunch choice, about whether they said the right thing to the cashier, about whether their house is clean enough for unexpected visitors. People who are so busy managing their image and controlling every impression that they don't have energy left for the relationships and experiences that actually nourish them. And I understand why this happens. We live in a time when everything feels urgent, when every choice feels loaded with meaning, when we're constantly being told that we should optimize every aspect of our lives. We've been trained to believe that if we're not concerned about something, we're missing something important. But what if the opposite is true? What if by caring less about the small things, we create space to care more deeply about the big things? What if by letting go of the need to control every outcome, we free ourselves to be present for the moments that actually matter? The problem with caring about everything is that it makes us reactive instead of responsive. When you're constantly in a state of low-level anxiety about various small concerns, you're not actually available for the people and experiences in front of you. You're not present. You're not calm. You're not the person you want to be. I want to tell you something that might feel radical. Most of the things you've worried about actually require your worry. Most of the things you're trying to control can't actually be controlled. Most of the outcomes you reinvested in will unfold the way they're going to unfold, regardless of how much mental energy you spend on them. This doesn't mean you should stop caring about important things. It means you should learn to identify what those important things actually are, and give yourself permission to care less about everything else. So how do you learn to care less without becoming careless? How do you cultivate healthy detachment without losing your compassion? How do you protect your energy without protecting your heart? Let me offer you some gentle ways to practice caring less while still being okay, while still being you. First, learn to distinguish between caring and worrying. Caring is love in action. It's present. It's purposeful. It's connected to what's actually happening right now. Worrying is anxiety pretending to be useful. It's future-focused. It's repetitive. It's often about things that are outside your control. When you feel that familiar tightness in your chest about something, ask yourself, is this caring or is this worry? Am I responding to something real and present? Or am I spinning stories about what might happen? Can I actually do something about this right now? Or am I just rehearsing anxiety? Start to notice the difference between the two. Caring feels grounded and purposeful. Worrying feels frantic and circular. Learning to recognize the difference is the first step toward caring more effectively. Second, practice the art of the gentle shrug. This is one of the most undervalued skills in modern life. The ability to meet minor inconveniences, small disappointments, and other people's opinions with a soft, "oh well," instead of a dramatic internal monologue. The train is running late. Shrugged. You said something awkward in a conversation. Shrugged. Someone didn't respond to your message. Shrug. Your hair doesn't look quite right today. Shrug. These aren't problems to solve or emotions to process deeply. They're just part of the texture of being human. The gentle shrug isn't about not caring at all. It's about right-sizing your response. It's about saving your emotional energy for the things that actually deserve it. Third, remember that other people's opinions are not your responsibility. This is a hard one, because we've been trained to believe that managing other people's impressions of us is part of being a good person. But think about it. When someone has an opinion about you, that opinion lives in their mind, not yours. You can't control it, you can't manage it, and you're not responsible for it. This doesn't mean you should be inconsiderate or careless about how you affect others. It means you should stop trying to control outcomes that are fundamentally outside your control. You can be kind, thoughtful, and genuine, and then let people think what they think. The energy you spend trying to manage other people's opinions is energy you couldn't spend on actually living your life. It's energy you can't spend on being present with the people who matter, on pursuing the things that interest you, on simply enjoying the experience of being alive. Fourth, accept that some things are allowed to be imperfect. Your house, your work, your relationships, your responses to daily challenges, they don't all need to be optimized. They don't all need to be excellent. Some things are allowed to be good enough, and good enough is often exactly enough. This isn't about lowering your standards for everything. It's about learning to apply your high standards selectively. Choose a few areas where excellence matters to you, and let everything else be beautifully, imperfectly adequate. When you catch yourself trying to perfect something that doesn't need to be perfect, pause and ask, what would happen if I just let this be okay? What would happen if I spent this energy on something that actually matters to me? Fifth, practice caring about yourself the way you care about others. This is perhaps the most important one. Notice how much energy you spend caring about other people's comfort, other people's opinions, other people's needs. Now ask yourself, do I care about my own well-being with the same gentleness? Most of us are incredibly harsh with ourselves while being endlessly accommodating to others. We worry about disappointing people we barely know while consistently disappointing ourselves. We care deeply about others' feelings while ignoring our own need for rest, space, and peace. What would it look like to care about your own energy the way you care about others' comfort? What would it look like to protect your own peace the way you protect others' feelings?